The internet is lousy with opinions. You can't escape them. X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Reddit are filled with people spouting their views in the most confident ways. It's time for There I Said It on Rock 107. You ready, Kate?
Oh, yeah.
No matter how often chefs say the flavor is in the fat, people will continue to buy the leanest cuts of meat possible, then complain that it's tasteless. There, I said it.
It's something my dad would say. Men who cut off their ponytails always look better, and in many cases, much less like a sex offender. There, I said it.
Those questionable opinions from the internet, there I said it on Rock 107.
A cheese board is better than any dessert. There, I said it.
Disagree. Hard pass. Move to a house with a smart thermostat. So you're telling me I have to create an account, which then communicates with the server in California, just so I can set the temperature in my own home? No wonder we've cornholed this planet. There, I said it. Those questionable opinions all over the internet, we've collected them. There, I said it on Rock 107.
Doesn't matter who you are, if you book a solo trip to Thailand, everyone's going to think that you're a sex offender. And rightfully so. There, I said it.
I agree with the first part. I'm not sure about the rightfully so. It's about time we had a ginger James Bond. There, I said it.
That's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
KFC is selling a sleep machine that makes the sound of chicken frying. Leave it to Americans to find a way to even make our dreams fattening. Scientists are now re-examining Uranus, and that's today's edition of headlines that will crack up 8-year-olds. Patrick Mahomes' house was burglarized last month, and can you believe it? Jake from State Farm denied his insurance claim.
Making sure breaking news stays broken. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Stained, it's been a while. Northeast PA's Classic Rock, Rock 107. It's Prospector Show. Good morning, I'm Prospector.
Good morning, I'm Kate.
And Kate, it is time for, I think, the best part of your Friday morning.
Leaving?
No. A visit from the epitome of masculinity.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Mr. Manly here with lesson number 627 in How to Be Manly. My niece Andrea is a very talented piano player. Recently, I was invited to one of her recitals, and she was wonderful. I was pleasantly surprised. Afterward, there was a dinner with family and Andrea's instructor, Miss Wright. She sat just to the right of me at dinner, and I said, "Your name suits you. From where I sit, I see nothing wrong. But what's your first name?" She told me my name is Ivory. I said, once more, a good name, as it certainly fits, as you are always stroking the ivory. We seemed to be getting along, and wanting to do more than make small talk, I made mention to her of how I yearned to play the piano when I was young. Ivory said, if you'd like to give it another try, I'd be happy to get you up and in the proper key. I said, I'll take you up on your offer. Just say when and where. She said, since I have a piano at home, perhaps that would be a good setting. How about Wednesday night at 6, and maybe after we can get a bite? When I arrived, she said, your first lesson will be simple. I will teach you chopsticks. I thought, hey, good music selection, as I was planning on us going out for Chinese. My piano lesson went chop, chop, and while Ivory and I were enjoying our sake afterwards, I asked what got her interested in piano. She told me since she was a child, she liked to play, she knew she had ability, and piano became her love. Well, after hearing this, I knew I could play more than chopsticks for Ivory and do so in a manly manner. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, follow along in your manly manual, page number 627, and repeat after me. Number 1, you like to play? How about some Neil Diamond? I'll be the sun, you'll be the moon, I'll be the tune, play me. Number 2, I'm sure you have natural ability. Now let me see you nail this chord. Number 3, hey, Ivory, you remind me of a piano. When you're not upright, I'm sure you'll be grand. Shortly after, as Ivory nails your chord that no longer makes you feel so grand, and you're unable to play as you're now on your back staring at the moon, you'll realize just what kind of man you really are. Until next time, this is Mr. Manly saying be manly, and good day.
You probably see it every day, unless you go out of your way, to avoid them. It's Prospector Show on Rock 107. Good morning, I'm Prospector.
Good morning, I'm Kate. Some say they cause tornadoes.
We didn't have tornadoes here until we started putting into traffic circles.
All right.
Some folks drive out of their way to not have to deal with them.
Okay, be it by the airport in Dallas, Marshall's Creek, or heading to Luzerne County Community College, roundabouts are becoming a bigger part of our daily drives in Northeast PA.
And many folks still do not understand the simple rule of using roundabouts.
Which is yield as you head into the roundabout. Never yield again. That's all. If you're entering the roundabout, you yield to traffic in it. If you're in the roundabout, you keep moving in it.
Well, unless you come across a guy like this. Someone posted a video of a big truck almost crashing into their car. It was the truck guy's fault for not yielding, but he yelled and claimed he had the right of way.
Of course he did.
What are you honking at me for?
What the hell are you doing, dude?
Dude, that's not how that works. I have the straight. You were coming through here.
You have the yield, dude.
I don't have the yield. Everyone coming in has the yield.
You realize if I hit you, I would have just crushed your entire car, right?
There's nothing that I should have or could have done differently there. I didn't.
Shit, you don't come straight across the intersection like that.
It's a roundabout.
Of course, you heard him talk about how his truck was bigger and he could have crushed the car.
That's always the same argument. Well, my truck could have crushed his little car. And look, thank you for showing restraint, buddy. Thank you, Captain Self-Control, for not demolishing my life because you're too stupid to drive correctly.
Why is it that guys and trucks think that having a big vehicle gives them moral superiority?
I'm not sure what it is. Like, maybe, come on, my truck's bigger, so technically I'm right. Is that the law now? Is that how we do it? Because you got a bigger truck, you're automatically right? By that logic, bulldozers are the Supreme Court of the roadways.
The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to loudmouth yambag at rock107.com.
Hey, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and here's what's got me jacked. All right, let's talk about street racing. You know that brilliant idea where you take your mom's Honda Civic and pretend you're Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious? Yeah, because nothing says I've got my life together like weaving through city traffic at 90 miles an hour. I mean, what an absolute masterpiece of idiocy. People, this is real life where actions have consequences, and no, you don't get to hit a reset button. I read a story in the Citizen's Voice about this genius in Hazleton who decides he's going to live out his Need for Speed fantasy. He's weaving through traffic like he's in an action movie, running a red light because, hey, why not? Safety, who needs that? He smashes into another car, and now he's got a passenger unconscious in the back seat. Brilliant move, buddy. I mean, what were you thinking? Hey, let's see if I can turn my car into a pinball machine on the highway. But wait, it gets better. This genius had dash cam recording the whole thing. Yeah, you heard right, because if you're going to do something incredibly stupid, might as well film it for posterity, right? I can't imagine the thought process. Hey, officer, here's Exhibit A of how I shouldn't have a driver's license ever. Or look, here's my audition tape for World's Dumbest Criminals. Now the guy's facing aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, illegal racing, and careless driving charges. You know, just a typical Tuesday night for this guy. And let's not forget the poor folks in the other car who were just minding their own business when Mr. Speed Racer decides to play bumper cars with them. Yeah, that's quite a rap sheet for an evening of fun. Let's not forget the state police crash reconstruction expert determined he was going between 76 and 96 miles per hour within 5 seconds of impact. In a 2016 Honda Civic. It's not a Ferrari. It's not even a Camaro. That's the car your grandma drives to bingo. So what's the outcome? Well, the guy's looking at serious jail time. All because he couldn't resist the urge to turn the streets of Hazleton into his personal racetrack. Hey, here's the thought. You want to race? Take it to a track. Or better yet, get a different hobby. Because the only thing you're winning with this nonsense is a one-way ticket to jail and a lifetime supply of what the hell was I thinking? I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man.
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag I found Prospector and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107. Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
A worker at a thrift store in Missouri discovered some World War II love letters in a donation bin. She didn't know who left them, although it seems like they didn't realize they were there. So she started Googling the names to unravel the mystery, and she found out the couple lived a very happy life. And they did get to do the stuff that the man at war promised they'd do when he returned.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. Ladies and gentlemen, grab the kids, call your neighbors, and gather around the radio.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Jam Bag of the Week, as decided by you at rock107.com.
We uncover the most baffling, ridiculous, pathetic, cockeyed, laughable, preposterous blunders in the world of misdeeds. Nominee number 1.
A man has been arrested in New York for intentionally crashing into a woman as part of an insurance scam. You've probably seen some of this video on the internet by now. A woman driving on the highway was rear-ended by a gray car that suddenly stopped and reversed into her. The occupants of the car, visibly shaken, took footage of the damage. The incident is part of a growing scheme called the swoop and squat scam, where people stage crashes to collect insurance money or threaten lawsuits and split the proceeds. However, the victims had a dash cam that captured the entire incident, including the car cutting in front of her and backing into her and the post-accident theatrics. Another car was involved, and one of the perpetrators allegedly got into that to leave the scene. The arrested man faces charges of staging a motor vehicle accident, criminal mischief, reckless endangerment, conspiracy, and insurance fraud, with a potential prison sentence of up to 7 years.
Nominee number 2.
This seems like the kind of thing that would happen at a dysfunctional Thanksgiving in Florida. A 20-year-old man in Miami named Alexander Rodriguez was arrested last week after he stabbed his brother in the neck. They lived together and were cooking in the kitchen that night when there was some kind of argument. Now, it's unclear what they were making, but Alexander had a knife. He allegedly stabbed his brother in the neck and sliced his arm and face. When cops showed up, they rushed the brother to the hospital, and it sounds like he'll be okay. They found Alexander hiding in a tree. When they asked him what happened, he said he was upset because his brother was talking over the food.
Nominee number 3.
I hope this guy at least proved these women wrong, because nothing else about this worked out for him. A 33-year-old guy in the United Kingdom got arrested for flashing a group of women on the street after they made fun of him and joked that he must have tiny junk. He'd been drinking and tried to hit on them at a club. They say he tried to hug them, and they made it clear they didn't want to interact with him. They ran into him later outside of a pizza place, and that's where the flashing happened. He told a judge they said his junk must be tiny and made hand gestures to indicate how small they thought it was. He pulled down his pants and briefly showed them that he was packing. No official word on whether he proved them wrong or proved them right. They told a cop who arrested the guy and found a small amount of cocaine on his person, too, so they charged him for indecent exposure and possession of drugs. He was sentenced to 18 months probation, drug rehab, and he'll be a registered sex offender for the next 5 years.
And the winner is
the guy who flashed a group of women after they joked that he had tiny junk. You're the Yam Bag of the Week. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.